DJ MJ, welcome to the House Music Connection podcast. I'm really happy to have you on, and I'm really excited for listeners to get to know more about you and what you're about, and your experience your vibe a little bit, and hear a little bit of your story.
Thank you for having me, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you go ahead and start by introducing yourself? Because I know that I'll probably butcher it. I mean, I've read what I see what I've read on TrackSource and various other places. But why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, yeah, DJ MJ from Birmingham in the UK, an underground DJ, producer, promoter, radio station owner, and many other things. So I do all that predominantly on the underground scene, specialising in house, garage, broke beats, all the underground mini genres of house music. Funk, disco, the lot. I'm jack of all trades, and some would say master of none.
Yeah. Okay, well that's cool that you are versatile in your DJ selections, keeping it underground, keeping it while still keeping it underground, and not going too wide, I guess. So I mean, underground lane is still gives you some room to play, so that's cool.
Well, that's it. There's many genres and many styles of music that come under the underground umbrella label.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't mention jungle or D&B. Have you explored that a little bit?
But it's not something that I specialise in. Although back in the day, in the heydays, if you like, I was part of the Junglist Massive.
Okay.
So yeah, I am an original jungle girl. I don't practice it as on a DJ level, but yeah, I've got a library full of my old jungle classics. They're all in there.
Cool. All right. Well, let's see. Let's get started by talking about the new radio station that you recently started. I think yesterday. So we're recording this on July 3rd, and I think was it yesterday that the new website went live and everything kind of transferred over to the new.
The new platform, yeah.
It
was actually Monday, the 1st of July. That's when the inverted commas, the big switch over happened. Prior to that, we were actually broadcasting on a platform called MixLR.
Yeah.
And MixLR, as you know, or you may not know if people aren't kind of up on the MixLR. It's just a channel. It's just another platform where people can broadcast from. It's just it's another channel. So we were broadcasting on MixLR since I think it was the beginning of February. So only a very short amount of time, February 2024. And fast forward, where are we now? February, March, April, May, June. So fast forward 4 months, and a lot of blood, sweat and tears has gone into creating a brand new Back2House radio platform in the shape of website, apps, all the usual big platforms. Yeah.
That sounds like quite the evolution over 4 months. That's awesome. Well, big up for making all that happen. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. How did you make the decision to start your own radio station? I know there's a lot of stations out there, a lot of the good ones, some that are okay. How did you make the decision to start just do your own thing?
Well, we actually run an events brand here in Birmingham called Back2House Events. And the events have been happening now, I think, for the past 2.5-3 years. About 2.5 years, actually. We concentrate predominantly on house music, with the motto being house music across the decades. And we do exactly what we say on the tin. So it's house music from present day right back to the roots where it all began. Concentrating on the classics, soulful house, disco house, funky house, the deeper techie type of house as well. We really do go across the board with the house music. So leading on from that, it was actually a drunken conversation with myself and my partner one night, saying, "Oh, we should have a Back to House radio." In the cold light of day, after thinking about it, I thought, well, yeah, okay, let's have a look what's out there and kind of test the waters and see what's going on. So I think the easiest platform really for us to go on at the time was MixLR. It's
Mm-hmm.
very, very pricey, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a good channel if you're just starting out and you just want to dip your toes into that kind of area of
Mm-hmm.
broadcasting music. So from there, like I say, it was only supposed to be a little bit of a mess around between myself and my partner. Next thing I know, I'm having DJs saying to me, "Oh, well, can we join and can we broadcast on your channel as well?" Uh, yeah, okay, no problem. I said that's fine, no problem at all. It started with one or two DJs, then three, four, five, six, seven. Before I knew it, I got a whole team and squad of DJs who were on the channel. These DJs are absolutely brilliant. They're really, really talented. They're really passionate. There's DJs from our local area and also across going into London. We've got DJs from Bristol, from Wales, from Scotland, really across the whole of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Because of their passion and their wanting to drive it and just the talent of these people, I thought to myself, well, we're too good to be on MixLR, and these DJs who are that passionate and are pushing the station and pushing the brand, they deserve more. So, had a look what was in my bank account. Maybe had to beg, borrow and steal a little bit. But yeah, made the decision to come off MixLR and, like I said before, go hard or go home. I'm a grafter, and I thought, well, let's
Mm-hmm.
move off MixLR and let's do it properly. Build our
Mm-hmm.
own website, or at least have somebody build a website for us, get an app sorted, make it so that we're available on smart speaker, and really just push ourselves across all of the platforms, and that's where I find myself today, with a little bit more grey hair. Thank
Well,
God for hair dye, that's all I'm saying.
I can't see it in the camera, so good on the camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. So that's cool. I love that you started with with something that was like more of a testing ground, and then it kind of just grew from there. And I think so
Yeah.
many times we get caught up in like we have to do everything perfectly the right way, right up front or whatever. But there's so many ways that we can kind of experiment and
Yeah.
evolve from there. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that.
Well, it's a lot
So,
more pressure as well, because now
oh
people
yeah.
are relying on you.
Mm,
You're not the boss. I mean, that, for want of a better word, but you're managing all these people, and these people have come
mm,
to you to broadcast on your station, and for you to that they kind of look up to you to help them to promote themselves and to promote what they're doing and push them as well. So it's a big responsibility, and I think I've created a monster. It's a beautiful monster, but nevertheless, I've created one.
house monsters. All right.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
There
one.
you go.
Club
There you go.
Monsters. Big up Ray Hurley.
Yeah, and see me in the morning.
Yeah, 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 one
I
of
can
those.
look like a monster. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So, so what's the lineup look like? Maybe mention a few people that are part of the station now.
Okay, yeah, well, wow, now you're asking. Okay, we've got that many. It's actually hard to remember everybody.
Okay.
So we've got our local DJs, Cedric Anderson. We've got John Turnbull, who is a local legend from back in the day, and he's still going strong. Who else have we got? We've got Nina Love, who's a
Mm,
name on our scene at the moment. Say at the moment, she's been going for a while now. So yeah, Nina Love. We've got Chrissy Mack. We've got DJ
mm,
D Wood, James Combe, Mr H. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've got Rod C, Emma and Adrian, Steve Lipscomb.
oh wow.
Uh, yeah,
Well, that's quite the
a
roster.
whole load
Yeah.
of names. I could go on forever and ever and ever.
Okay. Well, that's nice. So it's wow. It sounds like it's really taken off. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Congrats on that
Thank
success
you.
so far. So yeah, very cool. So Liz, I mean, are you still looking? Are you still looking to add to the programming to the station? I mean, if somebody's listening to this and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, hey, I want to be a part of this," are you looking for other mixes to fill some slots?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment we've got weekly slots available, where we're looking for DJs who can broadcast from all over the world, not just the UK. We've got Jackman Jones on the station as well.
Mm,
He broadcasts from Canada. Producer who's on the scene. So we've got Canadian DJs from all, people from all over the world. We really have. So
hmm.
we are looking for more DJs. That's for sure. If they can commit to a weekly 2 hour show, then please, if you like your house music and you're confident on the microphone, then please get in touch.
Sounds good. And I'll be sure to include the links in the show notes and the
Yeah,
description on the
sure.
YouTube page. So okay, cool.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah. All right. So we've kind of started with today. So let's go back to how long have you been DJing, and when did you get into really get into house music?
Well, I would say I've been a DJ now for about 17, 18 years, give or take a year or two. Yeah, I'm reckoning about 17, 18 years now. Started off, really, like I say, I was an original garage girl.
Mm,
I loved my garage and still do, my US garage and my UK garage. Getting into that type of music really dates back to when I was 13, so in
mm,
1993. Yeah, getting into that scene, I was given a tape. It was a white tape, and I've told this story many, many times. A white
mm,
tape, and on the tape was, it said Andy Ward, US Garage. I was 13 years of age, I had a little pink stereo, put the tape in the stereo, and one of the first tracks to play was Victor Simonelli, Do You Love Me Baby? So that was the first track on there. I'll never forget that. And the other one was By My Side, Danny Taurus.
mm,
Those are the two tracks that stand out to me from that tape, 1993. And that is when I got into that sound. So,
mm.
Danny Taurus, Victor Simonelli, respect.
Nice. Yeah. Gotta give props where
Yeah,
where they're due for sure.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's see. So it's in the 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah. What so you started off with garage, and garage kind of split off after at some point to more of that or I should say garage.
yeah. Well, no,
Just
we
kind of
can say garage because if you want to take it back to the roots, it is
yeah.
actually garage.
Yeah. So it kind of split off at some point to where it kind of became more of like a garage house or like a housey
Mm,
sound. It kind of started off as housey, but then it kind of garage
yeah,
kind of ventured into kind of started becoming more dubby and a lot more
yeah,
quicker and speed garage and whatnot. So
yeah.
did you kind of follow that path, or did you kind of stay on that more house path at that point, or were you still kind of doing both, riding the line there?
Yeah, with me, I like what I like, and there's many
Yeah.
genres. I don't just stick to one thing. I like my funk,
Yeah.
I like my jazz, I like some pop music, I like
Yeah.
classical, I like some rock. I will really, really listen to whatever my mood is at the time, and if I like it, I like it. So I tend not to stick to one particular thing, and I've always been like that. My music taste is really, really eclectic. Even though I
Mm,
might choose to DJ or produce in a certain genre, that doesn't mean that I don't listen to anything else. So I don't kind of follow trends, if you like. I
mm,
If I like it, I like it. And
yeah.
that's it. I've got many records and tapes and CDs of rock music, of different rock bands, Black Sabbath, and
Mm,
all of them. You know what I mean? So I've never been one to follow trends.
hmm.
If I like it, I like it.
Yeah. So did I read somewhere that your dad was a DJ? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
runs in the family. It does. Oh, you've been doing
Okay.
your homework, Tony.
I think I saw it. I think I saw it through flow across my social media at one time. I was like, "That's really
Yeah.
cool." Yeah,
Yeah, well, I
that's
mean,
really cool.
my dad is the original DJ. He's been doing it. My dad's in his 60s now, and my dad was DJing from when he was a kid. And I mean, not
Mm,
even like a teenager, from, before that. I think about 11 years of age, my dad started DJing, maybe even before that. Um, so yeah, I'll get it with him, and we've always been a musical family. My brother was a DJ as well.
mm,
My other brother, he dips into producing a little bit, and DJing a little bit as well. So yeah, we're a very musical family, and on my mum's side as well. So I got no choice. I've got to like music. It was bred into me before I was born.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in,
So,
in,
have
in
you?
actual fact, my dad was the first one who introduced me to Todd Terry when
Oh,
I was
okay.
8 years old. Royal House, Can You
Wow.
Party? The original, a classic. And we've heard it
Yeah.
all, we've all heard it a million times. But
Mm.
that is the tune when I was 8 years old that got me into Todd Terry, hearing it on the radio. So another one, yeah,
Have
big
you?
up Royal House.
Have you and your dad ever done like a B2B set? Or
Have we ever?
have you ever done like a back to back set?
Oh, no, no. I think he'd be too scared to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've overtaken him now.
So let's talk about those some of the successes that you have then. So you seem to be pretty prolific and pretty busy as a DJ. I mean, for all of us, it comes in waves and it ebbs and
Yeah,
flows a little bit. But you
yeah.
seem to be pretty busy. What would you say the factor is to having just staying busy as a DJ and keeping and getting gigs and being booked?
I think that's yeah, yeah. That's a hard one, but I think if you show your support to other people who are on the scene, whether that be promoters, whether that be other DJs, producers, a lot of people seem to think that it's all about them and me, and
Mm,
I think it's teamwork. There's plenty of room on the scene for everybody, and people have got to remember that, because it's very, very easy to go into yourself and concentrate on just what you're doing and kind of push everything else out. And you've really, really got to be a team player in this
mm,
industry. This is my personal experience anyway. The
right.
experience may be different for other people. I can only talk about my personal experiences.
Right.
Having the people around you that support you and you support them back. It's a dog eat dog world out there. It really, really is. And you do find out very, very quickly who your real friends are, who your real
Mm,
supporters are, and you find out quickly who are not so supportive and yeah,
right.
pretend for whatever various reasons. So I do think if you just keep yourself, just support other people on the scene, and be prepared to share the music, share the love. It's all about love, Tony. I'm a
Yeah.
lover, not a hater.
Right.
You've got to remember there's room out there for everybody, and I really, really do believe in that. And you just got to keep pushing yourself, keep grafting, keep it real. No matter
Mm,
what people say, you'll always get the haters. You'll
mm,
always get the people who are nice to your face, smile to your face, and stab you in the back. That's normal.
mm,
That's life. That's
mm.
how it goes. You just got to remember what you're doing. Keep on your path. Have the right people behind you and around you. You support the people as well, and you can't fail. You can't
Yeah.
fail.
So it sounds like you have a really strong mindset,
Yeah,
and you've got like some toughness there as far as like mental toughness, which is
yeah.
awesome.
You have
Where do you
to.
think
You
that
have
comes
to.
from?
Yeah.
Did you develop that, or have you always kind of had that?
Listen, I'm a Cancerian. We're hard on the outside and soft on the inside. We
My
put on a
spouse,
tough exterior, but
yeah,
behind closed doors, I go to bed and cry on my pillow at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's something that I've had to learn, because when you're just starting out in the scene, trust me, I've had people threaten my life, threaten to stab me, threaten to kill
Mm.
me, threaten to have me beat
Whoa.
up. I've had it all. And when you think about it, it's it's ridiculous, because it's all about music. All of this over
Yeah.
music, just because, you know, you've uh, upped your game and perhaps surpassed them a little bit, and people don't like it. And
Mm.
these are people who have supported me when I was down, and
Mm.
then when you get to their level and then surpass them on that level, that's when they don't support you anymore. And the green-eyed monster is real.
Mm.
It's
It's a real
out
thing.
there.
Yeah.
And, you know, listen, I'll keep it real. I really, really will. Yeah, I've had people threaten my life just over playing music. How ridiculous is that?
Gosh,
You
man,
know?
that sounds like the '90s hip hop days in the U.S. where it
Yeah,
was like
yeah, I
East
feel
Coast
like,
versus West Coast.
yeah, Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah.
Only, you know, this is the UK. There ain't no Bloods and there ain't no Crips.
Yeah.
It's music, and that's it. And when you've got people trying to threaten your life over music, you know, it's a very, very
That's
sad state
crazy.
of affairs.
I did not even know that was even a thing. So wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Not by, you know, there's just certain people, and if they listen to this podcast, they'll know. I ain't got to say
Yeah.
anything. If they listen, they'll know who they are. Um, but that's it. You know, I've had to develop a strong mindset,
Hmm.
because it's a tough game. The music industry is the arts industry, I think, in general, is a tough game, and
Hmm.
you got to go the full distance, or you'll get eaten up, swallowed, and then spat back out again.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. So, do you have any, I guess, advice for someone to help develop some of that mindset and that mental toughness? Just experience, or is there anything that you can do to, like, I don't know, yoga or I don't know, meditation or
Yoga might
anything
help.
like that?
Yoga helps.
Yeah.
I think it does come with experience. You can tell
Yeah.
somebody until the cows come home, do this, do that, don't do
Yeah.
this, try that, think that, say that. Everybody's different, and it really, really does come with experience. And there's a very fine line with being confident and being cocky.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I think people, there's nothing wrong with feeling proud of what you've done, and bigging yourself up, and yeah, just putting yourself out there, and being proud of what you've done, and being pleased, and letting people know this is what I'm about, this is what I've done, this is me, listen to my music, check out this mix, this is where I'm playing, I'm proud of this. If you can't be proud of yourself, that's a damn shame. If you can't be proud of
Hmm.
of yourself, because you worry about what other people think. And
Yeah.
like I say, it's a fine line between being cocky and selfish, but being proud
Yeah.
of what you've done as well. It's a very fine line, but there is a line.
Yeah. Well, I think that else, I don't know. I think that in early days, and maybe even still sometimes, like I'm celebrating a success, and maybe sometimes it would come across as like,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just like tuning my own horn a little bit too much. But I don't know. I
yeah.
guess I still struggle with that a little bit. Like, okay, how much is too much? So,
Well,
yeah,
this is it. Listen,
yeah,
your people will support what you're doing.
yeah,
If they don't support you, they're not your people. And I've done it
yeah,
many times. Oh, you know, I'm going to post this on Facebook about what I've done, or Instagram, or whatever. And then I've pulled it later, because I've thought, oh, you know, people are going to think I'm showing off. People are going to think I'm bragging. No,
yeah.
you should be able to put yourself out there and say, listen, world, this is what I'm about. There's nothing wrong with
Right.
that. Big yourself up.
Yeah.
You have to.
Right. I mean, well, because nobody else is going to advocate for us any better
That's
than we
right.
do, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
like the
yeah,
saying, if you don't love yourself, how can you expect others to love you? And it's the
that's true.
same
Yeah.
kind of thinking process.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So let's see. So
So that's a tip
going
for
back
your
to,
kids.
okay. So what, what role does like networking and like who you know like play into getting bookings? Because you mentioned like supporting others. I mean, do people get to know you because and is that like kind of a form of networking? Is like by supporting others? I mean, how is I guess how what's your approach to networking and getting to know people and getting
Yeah.
people to know you?
It's listen. You got to keep up with the times, because if you don't, you'll be left behind. And it's not
Mm,
like, back in the 90s. I've been to clubs giving out my mixtapes to all
mm,
the bouncers on the doors, the managers of the clubs standing there with flyers and posters, and I've done a lot, standing on streets for hours and hours in the freezing cold, trying to promote myself. So
mm,
with the social media now, it's brilliant. The 2 clicks of a mouse and a couple of keys on the keyboard, you're out there in the world to millions and millions of people. So it's brilliant, but it's also a pain, because we're not
mm,
just a DJ or just a presenter or just a producer. Now you have to be a creative, you know
mm.
uh, an artist, a technical wizard, and this or that. And yeah, it does my head in, to be honest with you.
There's so
It
many
does
roles
my
we have to
head in.
play these days. Yeah, we have to be, like
So
you
many
said,
roles, yeah.
content creator, marketer,
Yeah,
DJ, producer, all that stuff, and then
everything,
yeah,
and that's the way it is. And if you don't like it, it's tough.
yeah,
Ship up, well, is it ship up or ship out? Shape up or ship out? That's the one.
right, totally,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it does help. I do call myself a social media queen, because I have to be. Doesn't mean
mm,
I enjoy it, but I have to be. And in order to get yourself out there, you've got to be on those socials. You've got to be.
yeah, so yeah, and I think what I've seen about your posts, I mean, it seems like you do kind of a variety of different types of posts. Like, there's some that are a little bit more like where you write a little bit more of a background or a
Yeah,
backstory, and you tell a little bit more about your story, which I
yeah,
think is really powerful. And I think that those are the types of posts that get a lot more engagement just in general.
yeah,
And so, can you say a little bit more about kind of putting yourself out there and like sharing more about yourself? Because a lot of DJs, I mean, a lot of like, artists are just kind of introverted and they do absolutely what just the bare minimum of what they have to do
yeah,
to like, for social media.
yeah,
I mean, I think there's power into putting yourself out there, and you seem to have done that a number of times. Can you say a
yeah,
little bit more about that,
yeah.
as far as like
Not
wearing
like
your heart on your sleeve and like putting
Yeah,
like opening it up a little bit?
yeah. I keep it real. I've never been shy in coming forward, and I will if something's on my mind, or I think there's something that needs sharing. Not particularly on my mind. You don't share everything, but if
Yeah.
it's relating to the music industry or a booking or whatever it may be, I think it's important for people to remember that everybody is human.
Mm,
Because sometimes, as artists, you can people will think, oh, they're just this, that people put you in a bubble.
mm,
And sometimes it's good to break that bubble and say, right, okay, I'm about to get real, realer than real.
mm,
I'll keep it real,
yeah.
and this is going on, and I'm not happy about it. And by
Yeah.
doing that, you'll find actually there's a lot of other people who are thinking the same as you. They just
Mm,
need someone to start that little subject off, and then everyone will jump on. Yeah, yeah, you're right. This
yeah.
is yeah, I agree. And what about this? And it's great for conversation starting. It's not just
Yeah.
about hear my mix, hear what I'm doing, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes let's have a conversation and get real right about now. You know?
Yeah. So, I guess speaking of that, then, what is something that you would like to see changed about the scene or the industry, or what are some problems that you see that we have solved or that we need to solve?
Uh, oh gosh. Do you know what? Yeah, how long's a piece of string? How long is a piece of string? There's many things. but I can only speak about my own experiences, and going back to what I said before, other people have got different experiences, and they could probably say a whole lot more than
Mm,
what I can say because they've experienced something different to me. Me personally, I've done all right, apart from like I said earlier, being threatened to be stabbed and whatnot. Take that out of the equation. I've done all right, and we've got some great brands and support in the music community. Certainly for the women, I think for the men as well.
hmm
As a woman DJ, producer, artist, I think before, people used to say there's not much opportunity for women. There's not
mm,
many women DJs. There is. There's a whole bag of women DJs out there. There really, really is.
mm,
So I think for people to say there's not many women DJs is wrong.
mm,
There is some out there, but that's why you've got brands such as, and I've got a bigger up, Anna C, who does the Queen's brand, and she does the Queen's events. That's her brand, God Save the Queens. And Anna C really, really has been at the forefront of creating events that are centred, not just for women, but they are centred around women DJs, because she's trying to give women DJs that platform that they might not necessarily have
mm.
within the UK scene anyway. I'm talking about London, because that's where her events are based. London, Brighton, and she really, really has been at the forefront of creating that family of sisterhood, and really promoting the female selectresses out there that she really, really has. So big up Anna C. Yes, Queen, big you up. But yeah, I just think, like I say, I've done all right out of it. I really, really have. I haven't really had any bad experiences. I've always done well with my bookings, and yeah, I can't complain. But that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. Cool. What else? What else? I mean, are there? What else would you change about the scene, or what would you like to see improved about the scene?
I think just everybody working together, and in an
Mm,
ideal world, whatever an ideal world is, because we all have different ideals. I
yeah.
think just more working together,
Mm,
men and women, because sometimes when I see lineups and it's a whole bag of men and just one woman, doesn't need to be like that. Have the same amount
mm,
of women on the events as men. Mix it up. I think just more working together, and not trying
mm,
to do one over on the other one, not trying to just just slag off another promoter, or I've seen it in the
mm,
past, promoters trying to get each other's events closed down. And certainly in the
mm,
Birmingham scene anyway, it's not really like that anymore, but it has been in the past. It's been absolutely
mm,
rife, different promoters trying to get one over on the other promoter, trying to get their events closed down, trying to get them beat up, and
mm,
absolute madness. It's a madness. But the scene has changed a lot for the better now. It really, really
mm.
has. I'm not seeing that anymore. Maybe it does still go on, but I'm certainly not seeing it on the UK scene as much as it used to be. Times have changed for the better, most definitely.
That's good. So, what is a big challenge that you have faced personally, other than kind of what you mentioned before about
Being
how you're?
stabbed,
Yeah.
dodging knives. Oh gosh, I need to write a book. Um,
Yeah.
Challenges.
I guess, and how have you overcome those challenges?
Well, just proving yourself really to people.
Mm,
Just proving what you can do to people. That's the biggest challenge.
mm,
Maybe not just for me. Well, I know not just for me, for everybody. We all want to try and prove ourselves to other people. You know, we want to try and prove to that other person, I can do this, and this is what I'm capable of. And I have had it in the past where I have been the only woman on the lineup, and all the other men DJs have been behind me, looking over my shoulder, literally trying to pressurize me and make a mistake on my set, because for whatever reason, either feel threatened or either don't like me, or for whatever reason. Everybody's got a reason for something, yeah. So I have had that where you can physically feel their breath breathing down your neck while you've been playing, and I've had that, yeah. And I've thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to show you I can do it, and I'm going to do it better, and I'm going to wipe the floor with everybody. And that's what you got to think in your head. And I've been in those situations a couple of times. Yeah, you've either got to prove yourself or, get out of the kitchen if you can't stand the heat. Luckily, I've got my heat-proof clothing on, so I'm all right.
That's funny. Okay. So,
it happens.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about production. I saw several years ago, I think it was back in 2019, is that when you released your first track?
Yeah, with Jeremy Sylvester, the legend that is.
Yeah. So how did you get into production, and what do you like about production? Do you still want to do more of it? Do you not like it?
Yeah, I mean, with Jeremy, I started out on Urban Dubs with him. I actually booked Jeremy for, I used to run an events brand called Platinum Garage. And Jeremy was one of the first artists that I booked, and this was 2017, I think, or 2018. So I booked Jeremy on the lineup for that, and I remember Jeremy at the time saying to me that he wanted to start up doing an Urban Dubs live platform thing on doing the live feeds on YouTube and whatnot. So fast forward a couple of years from there, I actually got sent some vocal stems from Mikey Freedom, who was the famous artist in I Want to Give You Devotion. So he sent me some vocal stems, and he said, MJ, I've known you for a good many years. He says, MJ, I've got these vocal stems for I Want to Give You Devotion. Absolute house classic. Can you do something with these? Great. Cheers, Mikey. So I sat on them for about a year, 6 months a year. Kind of forgot all about them. And then I spoke to Jeremy one day after I was doing my live show. And I said, listen, Mikey's give me some stems here. Can you help me? Well, can you help me just kind of lay them down and just teach me a little bit about using Ableton? Yeah, no problem. We both sat down together in the studio for a good few hours. And if you've ever seen Jeremy work, it's like he's going to get a bottle of milk. He just does it like... There, a track's made. Done. 10 seconds, done. That's
and it sounds good, too.
So long, yeah?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we lay down the stems, and we both made the track together, and that was it, and that was the start of it, and that was our devotion track, Jeremy Sylvester and MJ. And I've got to give a shout out to Mikey and to Jeremy as well for putting me on that path, and since then I've kind of run with it using Ableton and different programs.
Yeah, cool. And so you released several things since then, so
yeah.
You like it. Do you feel like production is necessary these days?
I don't think it's necessary, but it certainly helps. It really, really does help. If you can get into production, I was lucky. What a teacher to have to start, Jeremy Sylvester. You don't get much better than that. So I was lucky. I'd got Jeremy to teach me. And like I say, I'd downloaded Ableton and kind of taught myself and made my other tracks. But I think you certainly get a bug with it. I remember saying to Jeremy, "Oh, we'll just make this track and then that's it. I'm not really bothered." Boy, was I wrong, because from there, you really, really do get a bug. And I've made loads of tracks. I've sent some out to Martin Depp, Pogo House Records.
Yeah.
There's Mark Cottrell for Plastic People, released a track on there as well. Another couple more tracks on Urban Dubs. Also, Andy over at Phoenix Records released a track on his label. And most recently, with my sis, Kaylee Gibson, working for the first time with a live vocalist for Unify Records. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
I've got a little catalogue behind me now.
Yeah.
It's building.
Yeah. When's your next release?
I've got a track that I'm working on at the moment with a wicked spoken word vocalist called Deborah, or Vibrancy, London based, and there's her and herself, Ace Shylon. They normally go out DJing together and husband and wife team, so power couple, and they DJ and produce music as well. But yeah, she's on my next track, so watch out for that. MJ and Vibrancy, that's coming soon. It's not released on a label yet, but we've got some labels in mind, and it's a deep dubby roller. One of those tunes for 3 o'clock in the morning with the walls sweating, lights are off, walls sweating, you're off your face. Perfect, mate.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to hear that. So going back to like the first track with Jeremy Sylvester, I think it's important to note that you didn't just like walk up to Jeremy Sylvester and say, "Hey, can you help me? How can you help me like make this track or whatever?" There was that relationship and that foundation already built of you serving him, your value to him as well, and it's not like you are just taking from him. You did something for him as well. It's just like, and so I think it's important for us as producers and DJs and whatnot to add value to people. I know it sounds really business-like, but it's just like serve people and make sure that there's something in it for the other person as well. So we're not just taking. Yeah.
Listen, Jeremy's been doing it since '92, I think, or maybe even earlier, 1990. He's been doing it many, 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 many years. Don't think that just because you've been doing it for, say, 5 years and this person's been doing it for 25 years, you can still learn off each other. I've taught Jeremy things, and Jeremy's taught me things, and that's it. And there's no difference between the amount of years that you've been in the scene and I've been doing that and you haven't done that. And everybody learns off each other. Every day's a school day. Nobody is better than anybody else. We've all got different levels of skills and profession and experience. Yeah, of course. But everyone can learn off each other. So I think that's another part of me keeping it real. Nobody's better than anyone else. We're all on the same level, and we're all here to just get on, and that's it.
Yeah.
And if we can help each other in the process, more power to us.
That's awesome. Well, I don't think that's such a great viewpoint, and I think that I don't know that I could add anything to that. That's stated perfectly, and I think that that might be like I don't know, the central theme to the conversation is just push it out for the music, for the love of the music. So
it is. We say it so many times. It's all for the love of house, for the love of this, for the love of that. Let's strip it back, okay? Are you really doing it for the love of this, for the love of that, for the love of this, or are you doing it just to, what's your motives? What's your motives? Like I say, just keep it real. That's hashtag keep it real. I certainly do, and my partner. I've got to give a shout out to my Lee, my bongo Lee. The best percussionist in town. That's what I say. He's the best percussionist in town. Lee's been doing it 25 years on the scene across all the clubs across the UK, and you know, me and him are a good match because we both keep it real. We're both music people. We both love it for the vibe. It's the
Yeah.
vibe.
Hmm.
Nothing more, nothing less. And hey, if you can get some bookings out of it, if you can get a little bit of money out of it, if you can get a bit of recognition out of it, even better. But always remember it's for the vibe.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that just in my own life, and I think that when I get like lose focus and I try to like grind a little bit too hard as far as like I don't know, pounding the pavement and whatnot, I
Yeah,
forget about like sometimes I can forget a little bit about for just a short period of time like why I'm really doing this, and
yeah,
then life happens or I remember and then I just get reminded of like, okay, you're not doing this for the next booking.
yeah,
You're doing this because you want to share music and you love the music, and it's
exactly.
not for that next, step or whatever. It's, yeah.
Yeah. You've got to keep that in mind all the time. Keep yourself grounded,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
doing this radio station. Believe you me, I have had
It's
many
all about the
sleepless
love.
nights. Like I say, grey hair, screaming tantrums, argument. It's caused arguments with me and Lee. Oh, well, I won't say arguments. That's too strong a word. But certainly um, heated debates.
A little
Let's
bit
go
of
with that
tension.
one.
Yeah.
It's caused heated debates because I'm so passionate about it and I want it to work so much, and I want everybody that's on the station to feel like they've made a worthy and good move. And don't forget, some of these people have left their current radio stations to come over onto mine, so that's even
Mm,
more pressure on top of the pressure on top of the
mm.
pressure. So sometimes you have to remember, just right, okay, let's calm down. Let's remember why I'm doing this. It's because I love the
Mm.
music and I love the vibe and I'm passionate about the scene. And that's it.
Yeah.
All
So
the
you
screaming
mentioned
and
something.
shouting and tantrums and
Yeah.
grey hair and sleepless night and, you know,
So
remember why
you
you're doing
mentioned
it,
something.
kids.
Yeah. You mentioned something about making it work. So what does making it work look like for you? What does that mean to make it work?
Graft with a capital
Mm.
G.
I
You've
mean,
got to
but what
put
does
in
like
that
the end goal
graft.
look like? What does it look like when it's working?
Um, when it's working, everybody's smiling and happy, and it's
Mm.
all nice and roses, and you do get that recognition, and you know anybody that's on the station, you can approach any of them without me even saying, and they'll big up the station, and they'll big up what I'm doing, and they'll big me up, and they'll big up just the whole thing,
The
the
whole
whole
community.
family
Yeah.
vibe, the whole
Hmm.
everything, because that's how I've tried to create it, where there's not little cliques, there's not people bitching about
Mm.
each other and trying to do better than the other one on their show. And it's not about that. It's about working as a family, and that's the squad that won the Back to House. So um, that's the result I wanted, and I've only just started, so I'm happy. Whatever happens next is a bonus.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Nice. Well, I'm going to encourage listeners to check out Back to House. Of course, like I said again, or like I said, I will include the links in the show notes in the description to Back to House, and then also to your page as well. Um, I feel like we're kind of at a natural point. Like I said before we started recording, I said I'm not necessarily the most natural at closing, but I feel like we're kind of landing the plane a little bit, or it's getting to that point where it's kind of naturally closing. What would you
No
like to
problem.
leave listeners with as we wrap up?
Um, what I'd like to do, some DJs that I haven't shouted out on the
Oh,
Back
okay,
to
sure
House
thing. Yeah,
station, because when you're trying to mention
yeah.
names, I thought, oh God, it's
You're gonna miss
inevitable now. I'm
somebody.
going to miss
Yeah,
some people here.
yeah.
So I want to say shout out to Cy Lewis as well, also Little
Mm,
Mish, Julie B. Andy Spencer, who's not on the station anymore, but I got to big him up as well because he absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I think that's it. If I've missed anybody out, I'm really, really sorry, but I love you all.
yeah.
But yeah, just what did you say? Sorry, Tony.
I said, what would you? Is there any sentiment that you would like to leave listeners with as we wrap up?
Keep it real.
Mm,
Number one, that's first and foremost, above everything. Keep it real.
mm,
Seriously, do it for the love of house. Well, for the love of music, whatever music it is that you're into. Keep it for
totally.
the love of what you're doing.
Hmm.
Yeah, keep it real, and just don't be afraid to promote yourself and put yourself out there. Yeah, and
Mm,
F what anybody else thinks or says. Yeah, because you're gonna get it. Don't
yeah,
matter. Leave them carry on.
nice. I love it. Very
And that
cool.
goes for you as well, Tony.
Okay.
That's a pointer to you.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Well, I think that we are we're wrapped up now. I think this is
I told you I
yeah,
speak
this
a
is
lot.
a good place to wrap up. So thank you so much for coming on the show and for just sharing your vibe and just what you're about. I'm excited for listeners to get to know more about that. So thank you for the conversation. It was informative, and I like the whole point of the show is to help the community feel more connected, and I definitely feel that way. So I hope
Brilliant.
listeners will as well. So yeah,
Thank you for having me on, Tony.
yeah. Thank you so much. Hey, friend, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. As producers today, it can be really overwhelming to keep up with all the tasks that we need to complete. So I've created a free toolkit that can help you. Call it my release roadmap. This tool helps you to gain clarity on all of your tasks related to music production, demos, releases, and social media so that you can spend more mental energy on making music. Learn more about this free roadmap by visiting tonyfuel.com/roadmap or click the link in the description below. Again, that link is tonyfuel.com/roadmap. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.